Hi, everyone, and welcome to Speak English in the USA. I'm Alex.
And I'm Taylor. Today, we're talking about something that makes many people nervous, asking for a raise at work.
Right, and if English isn't your first language, this conversation can feel even more challenging. You want to sound professional and polite, but you also want to be confident.
Exactly. So today, we'll teach you some polite and professional phrases that you can use when talking to your manager about your salary.
We'll cover 3 important situations. First, how to prepare and ask for a meeting. Second, what to say during the actual conversation. And third, how to respond professionally to your boss's answer.
Perfect. Let's start with preparation. Alex, why is it so important to prepare before asking for a raise?
Great question, Taylor. In American workplaces, timing and preparation are really important. You can't just walk into your boss's office and say, "I want more money."
Before we talk about the conversation itself, let's discuss something really important, doing your research first. Alex, can you tell us why research is so crucial before asking for a raise? Right, that would be too direct.
Absolutely, Taylor. You need to know what people in similar positions are earning. In American business, you can't just ask for a random amount. You need facts to support your request. Exactly. Instead, you need to schedule a formal meeting. Here are some professional phrases you can use. First, you could say, "I'd like to schedule a time to discuss my performance."
Right, so where can people find this salary information? That's good because it focuses on performance, not just money.
Great question. There are several websites that are really helpful. You can check Glassdoor, Payscale, or Salary.com. These sites show average salaries for your job title in your city. You can also look at job postings for similar positions to see what companies are offering. Right. Another option is, "I wanted to talk about my role and responsibilities." This shows that you're thinking about your contribution to the company.
That's really smart. And once you have this information, you should prepare a list of your accomplishments, right? That's professional. And what about asking for the meeting time?
Exactly. Write down specific examples of what you've achieved. For instance, "I increased sales by 15%, or "I reduced processing time by 2 hours per day." Numbers and specific results are very powerful in American business conversations. "Would you have time to meet this week?" Or, "Could we schedule a meeting to discuss this?" These phrases are polite because you're asking, not demanding.
That's a great point, Alex. In American business culture, being polite and showing respect for your manager's time is really important.
Absolutely. And here's another tip. Don't ask for the meeting when your boss looks stressed or very busy. Choose a good time.
Good advice. So now let's practice the actual conversation. Alex, why don't you play the manager and I'll be the employee asking for a raise?
Sounds good. Let's do it. So, Taylor, you wanted to meet with me today. What's on your mind?
Thank you for meeting with me. I really enjoy working here and contributing to the team. I wanted to discuss my performance and my role in the company.
Of course. What specifically did you want to discuss?
Well, over the past year, I've taken on additional responsibilities. I'm now training new employees and managing the client database. I was hoping we could discuss a possible salary adjustment.
I see. Let me review your performance and we can discuss this further. Can you give me a few days to look into this?
Of course. Thank you for considering my request. I appreciate your time.
Perfect. Now let's break down what just happened. Taylor, you started with something really important. You said, "I really enjoy working here and contributing to the team."
Right. That phrase shows that I'm committed to the company, not just thinking about money.
Exactly. Then you mentioned specific examples. "Over the past year, I've taken on additional responsibilities." This shows your manager exactly what you've been doing.
And I use the phrase possible salary adjustment instead of just saying, I want a raise. That sounds more professional.
Great point, Taylor. Salary adjustment is a more professional term than raise. Now let's talk about how to respond to different answers from your boss.
Right. Your boss might say different things. Sometimes they'll agree to review your request, like in our example. Now, let's practice what happens if your boss says no. This is where many people get disappointed and give up, but actually, this is just the beginning of a longer conversation.
In that case, you can say, "Thank you for considering my request," or "I appreciate the feedback." These show that you're patient and professional. That's a really important point, Taylor. When someone says no, you want to understand why. Let's practice this scenario. I'll be the manager again, and this time I'll decline the request.
What if the boss says raises only happen at certain times of the year? Good morning. I wanted to follow up on our conversation about a possible salary adjustment. Have you had a chance to review my performance?
Good question. You could respond with, "I understand. I'm happy to revisit this in the future." Or, "Thank you for explaining the process." Yes, I have. Unfortunately, the budget is very tight right now and we're not able to offer salary increases at this time. I'm sorry.
Those responses show that you're not upset or angry, even if you didn't get what you wanted right away. I understand, and I appreciate you being honest with me. Could you help me understand what I could do to be considered for a raise in the future? I'd really like to continue growing with the company.
Exactly. In American workplaces, staying positive and professional is very important, even when you're disappointed. I appreciate that attitude. I'd suggest focusing on developing your leadership skills and maybe taking on some project management responsibilities. Let's revisit this conversation in 6 months.
Before we review all the phrases, let's talk about some common mistakes that people make when asking for a raise. Alex, what's the biggest mistake you see? Are you ready, Alex?
The biggest mistake is talking about personal financial problems. Never say things like, "I need more money because my rent went up," or "I have student loans to pay." Your manager doesn't make salary decisions based on your personal expenses.
That sounds like a great plan. Thank you for the specific feedback. I'll work on those areas, and I look forward to our conversation in 6 months. Right. Another mistake is comparing yourself to coworkers. Don't say, "Sarah makes more than me, so I should too." That creates awkward situations and shows you're not focused on your own performance.
Absolutely. First, for requesting the meeting, I'd like to discuss my performance, and would you have time to meet this week? And never threaten to quit. Don't say, "If I don't get a raise, I'll look for another job." This sounds unprofessional and can actually backfire. Your boss might say, "Okay, good luck with your job search." Perfect. Let's analyze what just happened. Taylor, even though you didn't get the raise, that was actually a very successful conversation. Can you explain why?
So remember, everyone, focus on your value to the company, not your personal needs. Focus on your achievements, not what others are earning. And focus on building relationships, not making threats. I really enjoy working here and contributing to the team, and I've taken on additional responsibilities. Because I got specific feedback about what to work on, and I established a timeline for the next conversation. Instead of just accepting no, I asked, what can I do to get a yes in the future?
I was hoping we could discuss a possible salary adjustment. Remember, salary adjustment sounds more professional than raise. Exactly, and you stayed positive and professional. The key phrase there was, "I'd really like to continue growing with the company." That shows you're thinking long-term, not just about immediate money.
Thank you for considering my request. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm happy to revisit this in the future.
Perfect, Taylor. Now here's our advice for everyone listening. Practice these phrases out loud. Say them in front of a mirror or with a friend.
That's great advice. Remember, confidence and politeness are both important when discussing salary in American workplaces. You want to show that you value yourself, but also that you respect your manager and the company.
Exactly. And don't worry if it feels scary at first. Even native English speakers get nervous about asking for a raise. The important thing is to be prepared and professional.
That's right. So keep practicing your English, keep building your confidence, and remember, you have the right to discuss your salary with your manager when you do it professionally.
One more important topic we should cover: following up after your raise conversation. This step is often forgotten, but it's really important.
Good point, Alex. So whether you get a yes or a no, you should follow up. What's the best way to do this?
First, send a short email within 24 hours. Say something like, "Thank you for taking the time to discuss my career development today. I appreciate your feedback and look forward to continuing our conversation." This shows professionalism and keeps the communication open.
And what if your boss said they'd think about it? When should you follow up again?
If they didn't give you a specific timeline, wait about 2 to 3 weeks. Then send another polite email asking if there's any update. You can say, "I wanted to check in regarding our recent conversation about my role. Please let me know if you need any additional information from me."
And if you received feedback about areas to improve, make sure you're actually working on those things. Keep track of your progress and be ready to share specific examples in your next conversation.
Before we wrap up, let's talk about how these conversations might be different depending on your industry or company size. Taylor, have you noticed differences between small companies and large corporations?
Great question. In small companies, you might talk directly to the owner or CEO. These conversations can be more informal, but you still want to be professional. In large corporations, there might be more formal processes and budget cycles that affect when raises are possible.
Right, and different industries have different cultures. In tech companies, performance and results are usually the focus. In nonprofit organizations, you might emphasize your mission-driven work and impact on the community. In sales jobs, your numbers and client relationships are key.
The important thing is to understand your workplace culture and adjust your approach accordingly. But no matter what industry you're in, preparation, professionalism, and respect are always important.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Speak English in the USA. We really hope this episode helps you feel more confident when it's time to ask for that well-deserved raise.
Absolutely. And thank you so much to all of our listeners who make this podcast possible. Your support means the world to us, and we love helping you on your English learning journey.
If today's episode was helpful, please give us a thumbs up and share this video with anyone who might benefit from these workplace communication tips. It really helps other English learners discover our content.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We post new episodes every week with practical English lessons for work, daily life, and everything in between. You won't want to miss them.
We also love hearing from you in the comments. Tell us what workplace situations you'd like us to cover next. Maybe you want to learn about giving presentations, handling difficult conversations with colleagues, or asking for time off.
Exactly. Or maybe you're curious about American workplace culture, small talk with coworkers, or writing professional emails. Whatever English challenges you are facing at work, we want to help. Just drop your ideas in the comments below.
Remember, every conversation is practice, and every practice session makes you more confident. You've got this. Keep using these phrases, keep building your skills, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself at work.
Thanks for spending time with us today. I'm Taylor, and with my co-host Alex, we'll see you next week for another episode of Speak English in the USA. Until then, keep practicing and keep believing in yourself.